Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Ray the Flying Squirrel here.
And I'm Mighty the Armadillo here, welcome you all back for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos once again.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Super Mario All-Stars / Super Mario Collection for those of you who lived in Japan, while we're still playing through Super Mario Bros. 3 for the Super Nintendo / Super Famicom, as well as the Nintendo Wii, thanks to the forms of the 25th anniversary celebration for the Super Mario Bros. Franchise, and finally the Nintendo Switch, due to the forms of the Super Nintendo online gaming services, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, last time we've essentially have accomplished World 5, which appears to be the sky, and today for this video is that we're about to be experiencing the next world in Super Mario Bros. 3, that's of course Iceland. So, this is where the fact that this particular world does have a lot of levels to go through, meaning about the fact that between this world, alongside with the next world after this, both of which are going to be by far the longest world throughout the entire whole game. Well, in terms of Super Mario Bros. 3 anyway, and I apologize for that particular awkward commentary at the beginning anyway. That's only mainly because, well, somehow I was pretty stuffed when it comes to likely having too much, you know, food, and on top of that, we've been busy doing spring cleaning because, as you can tell, that today's date, of course, is the 30th of March today, in this case in 2023 today, so naturally speaking, we've only just got about 2 more days to go until we're moving on to the 4th month of 2023, that's of course April. So in some cases though, and speaking of which though, naturally speaking, we are so close to able to actually get ourselves the Super Mario Bros. Movie on the big screen, because something tells me we've only just got roughly about 6 days left until the film actually comes out. So yeah, really pumped for it, especially concerning about the fact that, well, I'm sure that Mario fans will be very excited to see that film in action, so either way though, because chances are, everyone else has been waiting for it, ourselves included. So, I suppose, I don't suppose if you might as well know this already, it's about the fact that one thing I totally forgot to mention about, during the Forms of In Tuesday anyway, that about the fact the matter is though, do you remember when we actually decided able to take a break, for a little bit, when it comes to uploading schedule since about a week ago? Well, I completely forgot to mention about this, is that not only do me, Mighty, Sonic, Blue, Jewel, as well as Diago, Bea, and Carla did somehow manage able to join in the actual small holiday break during our own spare time, but also we did somehow rewatch not only Sonic the Hedgehog the movie, the 2020 live-action movie, and on top of that, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, also live-action, but also we did somehow finally manage to get a chance to watch Sonic OVA, or Sonic the Hedgehog the movie, if you want to be more specific. So because of that, well, if you want to know what OVA stands for, it stands for Original Video Animation. So, it's what a classify for that particular name stands for that OVA. So either way, so as you can see, both me and Mighty have both managed to get ourselves 5 extra lives, because as you can tell, we've now finally got ourselves the, you know, all 3 Starman cards in that particular perspective wise. So because of that, I think, relatively speaking, I think Mighty's back in the game for the sake of the forms of grinding extra lives, and he's almost caught up to my 34 lives at this point, but obviously I'm gonna get that particular power-up before he does.
Oh, you're really gonna get away for that, aren't you?
Yeah, especially noticeable because I can't help it for myself how cool the Hammer Bros suit I somehow managed to got with me. However, there's a massive difference for this, and I think I might as well save it until for later when it comes to using the Hammer Bros suit, because obviously something tells me I might as well save it up for later, so, but I digress. So, yeah, remember what I keep on ranting about during the Forms of Any, you remember how when Mighty already tells you guys about the fact that there's gonna be multitude of live-action Disney movies on its way? Like, I still get really ticked off for hearing that, especially concerning about the fact that, speaking of which though, there was actually that one point that a lot of people got a lot of upsetting moments during that point, when they somehow managed to reveal the new trailer for The Little Mermaid during this year. And basically, what the heck have they done to not only Flounder, but also with the films of Sebastian as well. Like, the emotions, gone. And a lot of colorful nature to it, gone. And on top of all that stuff though, yeah, that's the perfect example of why. That, I'm sorry, it's just that the live-action Disney movies is not doing it for me. Like, where's the spectacular rich colors? And what about the forms of vibrations and all that stuff with all that, you know, contrast and you name it? And on top of that, why is there a point about the fact that how come there was like, I don't know about you, because either way though, well, some films aren't too bad for the most part, where it comes in the past anyway. Like, I found The Jungle Book is okay, but my biggest problem here is that Disney decides they're able to take over the live-action treatment. Like, usually it just ruins all nostalgia memories. I'm not kidding, my biggest problem with this particular system is its, you know, the lack of charm that what makes the nostalgia trip so great. Because, well, it kills the nostalgia. Like, by making to those other films at this point in time, I think it created mouths of shoes to fill, and in my opinion, doesn't come close to doing that. Like, either way though, I just have no idea why somehow managed able to compensate for this point. But either way, so it looks like Mighty just somehow managed to took on the first tower level in World 6 by doing this no problem. And on top of all that stuff though, oh, I can get my guarantee to get myself some more goodies thanks to the forms of that particular card game. So I think I might as well do that anyway. So let's see what we got. A mushroom. Where can that be? Oh, goody. Alright, so I think there's another mushroom, and there's a Starman, so, whoops. Oh, speaking of Starman, there I go. For my Starman is now being added to my item inventory. And speaking of such, there's, I was keep on thinking of something else. Oh well, no big deal, but at the very least I don't mind utilizing for that specific mistake of, like, you know, not knowing where certain cards are going to be showing us for this point. And hooray, I've got myself 2 lives. How's that for that? And I've almost got to the point that I've almost had exactly 40 lives. So, by that time, as soon as I keep on getting, you know, these Starman cards at the very end of each level, then I highly doubt that I will be able to actually reach for about 40 lives if possible. So, but either way. Oh, and did you know about the fact the matter is though, is that one thing that me and Mighty have both forgot to mention about, and that is about the fact that ever since about, I would classify for saying 6 days ago, I think it's 6 days, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe it's like 6 days ago, roughly. That basically, though, is about the fact that Resident Evil 4 Remake has already came out for the likes of not only for the PlayStation 4, but also PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and as well as PC Steam as well. Because, relatively speaking, all of those reviews, sorry for that little tongue twist in the end, folks, that they're now up and running. Like, for instance, they somehow received some very, very universal acclaim from critics. Like, for instance, about the fact that when it comes to, like, the comparison between 3 versions as of now, which there are the PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X at this point, and he somehow died due to that particular Buzzy Beetle, just likes to able to toss those little blue blocks at us at this point, so yeah, I have no idea why somehow I just stopped at that one place and then I just somehow got killed in the process. But anywho, so yeah, in terms of reviews score-wise as far as I'm concerned, both the PlayStation 5 and the PC version of Resident Evil 4 Remake did somehow both receive 93 out of 100 according to Metacritic. So, pretty cool stuff I might add. And as far as Xbox Series X version is concerned, obviously it did receive 91 out of 100. So, not bad though, especially concerning about the fact that a lot of people seem to think that Resident Evil 4 is probably their fan favorite games of all time, next to Resident Evil 2. So, yeah, because as a result of that kind of stuff though, all those other reviews are actually pretty cool as well. Like, Eurogamer gives it a recommended, and Game Informer did somehow manage able to receive it as in 9.5 out of 10. Game Revolution just somehow gives the game 9 out of 10. And GameSpot receives the game as in perfect 10 out of 10. And on top of that, IGN also give the game a 10 out of 10.
and also Games Radar Plus somehow receives 4.5 stars out of 5, and Push Squared received the game 10 out of 10, and same applies to Shaq News, also 10 out of 10 as well, and PC Games N receives the game as in 8 out of 10 for some reason. But either way, though, I've honestly have no idea why they managed able to receive that lower of a score. And on top of that, The Guardian gives the game 5 stars out of 5. And VG247 receives the game also 5 stars out of 5. With one review exception. And that is, of course, Destroyed, I think is what it says anyway. For some reason, they received the game as in terms of review scores, is 7.5 out of 10. I honestly have no idea why he somehow managed able to put that in there. Oh, and another thing I've honestly have forgot to mention about is about the fact that, well, relatively speaking though, oh, come on, I was expecting to get that power-up in that particular block. Gee, feels like you're having a bit of a rough statement at this point, Mighty, once again. Especially concerning about the fact that, well, luckily though, you do still able to have yourselves, you know, more lives. Any forms of how it does it on the NES version playthrough, but either way, I somehow managed to deal with both of those Hammer Bros no problem, without any sort of like, you know, getting hits whatsoever. And I got myself my cloud, so I can easily skip one of those levels, if I decided to, so... But you still need to able to go for level 6, so... Just to ensure we can able to get everything else completed during that time, so... Anywho, so, yeah, there's also another thing I want to mention, though, is that, apparently, though, that Shovel Knight is actually getting its, another DLC, well, to be more specifically, Shovel Knight Dig, which, as a result, it did announce there's gonna be a new free DLC called Fate and Fortune DLC. I'm not exactly sure when that's going to be released, so, but either way though, time will tell, even though despite the fact that we haven't exactly got Shovel Knight Dig during that time, especially concerning about the fact that, well, we're still waiting for, you know, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is going to be releasing, and I think, relatively speaking, we've only just got about roughly 4 months left until Pikmin 4 is going to be releasing on the Nintendo Switch. So either way though, that might be something that everyone else is really looking forward to at this rate. Especially concerning about the fact that everyone else has been waiting for that Pikmin 4 game to finally exist. So either way though, I'm sure they'll keep Pikmin fans happy for it. So anyway... Oh yeah, and speaking of such though, there's going to be another game based off from the likes of Persona 5. And this time is actually going to be on mobile phone devices, which there are both iOS, which means it's like iPhone and stuff like that, as well as Android phones for Samsung or something. So yeah, as a result, the game's going to be called Persona 5 The Phantom X. So... yeah, that's all I could really say about this, honestly. I mean, sure, it might felt a bit interesting to say the least, but I just have no idea why I was going to say that, but anywho. So, I suppose I should probably also mention about this as well, I guess. It's about the fact that, well, relatively speaking, is that there was actually that particular content that it already came out during the forms of about, I would classify for saying since a week ago or something. That I actually kind of think about it, it's roughly about 2 weeks ago actually. Is that out of nowhere that Stumble Guys, you know, with the exactly same gameplay style as in Fall Guys, but on mobile phone devices or something. Apparently though, they will be receiving Rabbids decides to join in the actual party, so kind of interesting, all things considered. And I think Stumble Guys was also on Steam as well, as far as I can usually recall that. But either way, though, that'll be a discussion in another time. Well, apart from the fact that I do apologize that, again, the commentary for this particular point is actually getting a little bit bare bones at the moment. I mean, let's face it though, we've only just got 6 days left until the Super Mario Bros. Movie is releasing. So, yeah, I'm very excited about that, and maybe that we can probably able to fetch some more popcorn before we get a chance to able to watch the film at long last. Well, I'm sure that me and Mighty can able to do that, or maybe if I ask Sonic to able to actually fetch me some more popcorn before the actual film is about to be begun, until the 5th of April, more like, and he'll be the fastest thing alive to able to actually sort this solution. So, but either way, time for me to take on this level right here, and I think I do need a power-up because something tells me I did somehow get hit by those very devastating Buzzy Beetle enemies as far as I'm aware. So either way, those need to be very careful and not to get, you know, messed up at points, especially because concerning about the fact that, you know, as far as World 6 is concerned, I would say that between both World 3 and 6, both of which are by far the hardest world in the game, which, again, I already explained about this because usually, relatively speaking, knows that the difficulty in Super Mario Bros. 3 are just all over the place. Well, usually depending on what world you go into, so... Anyway, though, so it looks like maybe you can get the Fire Flower. Oh, too bad for you, Mighty, because as a result, you time it a little bit early, I might add. But, oh, you're going to be using a Fire Flower now, don't you? Although, mind you, because despite the fact that this level you're onto right now is going to be auto-scrolling, so because of that, yeah, I have to be very cautious with that, even though, luckily for me, I've come across into a Super Leaf on my ad, so, yeah, pretty cool stuff. Oh, and on top of all that stuff as well, is that obviously that the next Splatfest for the likes of Splatoon 3 is going to be on its way until roughly about 2 days from now. So, yeah, that might be some consumption. Although, relatively speaking, it's going to be stored until exactly the same day as in April Fool's Day, and you somehow didn't get the mushroom because, yeah, that's the thing about the power-ups sometimes in this game, is that for whatever reason, they just completely ignores your direction that you're facing. So because of that, sometimes it can be very picky at times, especially concerning if you really want to get that power-up so badly, like a mushroom or a 1-up for its extra lives or anything else like that. Chances are though, oh no, this is going to be a very tricky situation right here. Can I do this? Oh, you just somehow made it. Wow, that was incredible. With your leaps of faith and everything, I'm proud of you, bro. I'm very proud of you. Well, thank you for that. Especially because, well, relatively speaking, I know exactly what I was expecting to do. Well, at least assuming if I do have my Raccoon power-up, then I could potentially try to deal with it okay enough for able to actually hover it on anything else like that. But either way, I did manage to able to pull this off, so... Yeah, now it's my turn to take on level 9, so yeah, because this is the only world that does manage to feature 10 regular levels, plus with 3 tower levels at the same time. And also, this is going to be the final time we will be seeing Hammer Bros in the actual world maps, because obviously that we've already taken down, you know, the majority of the Hammer Bros, basically. Oh, really? That gosh darn Bluebird has caught me off guard. Jeez, I was not expecting that. Oh well, no big deal, because we got a Fire Flower on my disposal, or anything else like that. Oh, and speaking of Splatoon 3 though, is that apparently there's actually a new video just popped up from the likes of the Nintendo UK channel, that it appears to be by the forms of there's actually another song, or to be more specifically, there was actually a video called Splatoon 3 Deep Cut and Dump Socks featured off the hook in the studio, that usually it's like, even though it's a bit difficult to explain because I know for a fact there's been quite a few days since I actually last mentioning about the forms of Splatoon 3 related, but apart from the fact that that might be some things, you might as well know about that, so I think I get this strong sense of feeling. I think that pipe at the top might have something to do with it. So yeah, I was thought to myself about that, because I almost assumed that was going to be in the bottom, but apparently it doesn't. So, and I was so close to get that Starman card, but oh well, maybe because I somehow did timing my jump a little bit too early, but oh well, no big deal, because I already still got quite a few extra lives left, you know. Alright, now it's my turn to take on level 10, because I think you're about to get a chance to able to get into the 3rd tower level, basically. So, yeah, you're most able to go ahead and deal with this level, potentially. So, Anyway, there's also another thing I should probably explain about this as well, is that whenever I search upon something on Nintendo UK website, that apparently though, we did somehow manage able to claim our information in terms of the forms of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, what the amiibo function will functions, and because of that, it did say that this Link, Tears of the Kingdom amiibo, will launch along with the game until May the 12th, so no delays there, thank God. And by tapping this amiibo, you can receive weapons and materials, just like the forms of how it does in Breath of the Wild, and as well as for that, you can also manage able to receive a special fabric for your paraglider, which I will say that does look pretty cool though, especially that I think it's only compatible with most of those Zelda amiibos, because that's the perfect example of why that nowadays that certain Zelda amiibo lineup, they somehow managed to got back up. That's why I was gonna say for this point, but again, I apologize for my comment tech is a bit iffy today, because either way, that's not much else I can talk about, so... Oh, you didn't realize that you somehow skipped over for this Toad House, Mighty, because I somehow got myself another Hammer Bros suit, so pretty cool for my lucky department right there, but again, I'll save that until for later, because obviously, I'll, actually, kind of think about it, that, I don't suppose I actually used any of my music box or anything, so, oh well, no big deal, because I'm gonna hit on to Tower Level 3 for the sake of the forms of trying to take down Boom Boom again, so... But, yeah, for the most part, I think that's as far as I can try to discuss upon for this point, guys. Well, apart from the fact that we're relatively speaking, though, oh jeez, that was close. Oh god, I got hit by a boo. Jeez. Oh well, I guess I have to, like, just... Oh god. Oh jeez. You see what I mean? That the difficulty is all over the place in World 6? To me, though? Alright, so I'm not doing too bad. Oh god, we got the elevators section right here. Oh no! I didn't time it at the right time for its jump or try to avoid him. Ah, that was bad luck on my part. Well, on the upside for me, I could possibly be able to do the level for you. Oh, thanks, bro. I do appreciate it. Although, yeah, you still need to be very careful, though, because of that, you know, booze and also Rotodisc, which I'm sure that you probably already avoid those due time anyway, so... Oh, and I suppose the last thing I want to mention, though, that I suppose that Maxi has totally forgot to mention about, during the course of In a Piglet's Big Game playthrough, that, well, suffice to say, congratulations to KepKing74, because he now finally recently received 100 subscribers. So yeah, congratulations, especially concerning about the fact that you're doing quite well, for not only for Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, but also with the forms of Plants vs. Zombies playthrough as well. So because of that though, at least he's now got back in the game when it comes to likely for his YouTube content, because as far as I'm aware, that almost first of all he decided able to take a break for a little while after the events of, you know, playing through The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but either way though, that might be saying something, so... Now it's my turn to take on the next Airship Fortress level, and good thing I somehow managed to use the only mushroom I do have in my item inventory at this point in time. So either way, let's see what the actual King's transformation is at this time. And something tells me he transformed into himself into Monty Mole, based off from Super Mario World. So... yeah, kind of interesting though. Although, as soon as we get to the next world after this though, the actual transformation I do like, which, again, we're probably not going to get into it right now until specifically next Tuesday, so... And I can't even believe by saying this is that we are actually getting, you know, very, very, very close towards the end of not only for Super Mario Bros. 3 as a game itself, on the Super Nintendo version, mind you, but also the entire Super Mario All-Stars before we move on to... Well, again, let us know in the comments down below for the question of the day, that do you still want us to able to tackle through the Super Mario Advance games? Because, well, it might be pretty interesting though, especially concerning they do have, you know, additional content that was not found on the original versions. Well, I do know for one thing in Super Mario Advance 1 that does not only contains Super Mario Bros. 2, aka Super Mario USA, but also with the classic Mario Bros. Game, and in addition to that, the multiplayer for its Game Boy Advance cable link, and I'm pretty sure that it only works as in Mario Bros. On the arcade classic, so... And on top of that, with the forms of, you know, some richer visuals or anything else to be more specific, but either way though, I'm very surprised that this particular Airship Fortress level is actually, I'm not gonna lie, pretty short, I will have to admit it though, and we did somehow taking down Lemmy Koopa right here, even though that, I think between both Windy-O Koopa and Lemmy Koopa, these two are by far the hardest boss fights so far, in terms of Koopa Links wise, at least to me, because of these annoying projectiles you do need to avoid. Like, we do know for Lemmy Koopa that he just summons bouncy balls that you do have to avoid, and even compared to Windy-O Koopa, that she constantly summons the actual rings as projectiles, so... But either way, we basically accomplished World 6, so... I gotta say, we actually doing not too bad, actually, even though except for you, Mighty, sometimes, because you sometimes managed able to die at one point, like, quite a few times. Even though the only time I died once, it was in the 3rd tower level because of this, you know what I mean, hesitation and all that stuff, but either way though, now we move on to World 7, so I suppose we should probably end things up at this point right here, so join us next time for more of Let's Play of Super Mario All-Stars while we're playing through Super Mario Bros. 3, is that we'll move on to World 7, known as the Pipe Maze, at least as far as I can definitely know about the world name was, so, and it's definitely by far the longest world in the game in my opinion, so we'll see you guys until next Tuesday. Later dudes.